Hello everybody and welcome to one more budget builds. This time we're going to talk about a sort of, I wouldn't call it hybrid, but a lot tankier champ. The idea with this build with these exact items is that you cannot kill yourself to reflect unless you get somebody that's lexed. So even if the person has is a paladin and has Valk shield on, I think if you start adding things like Orc Lord, which is 30%, you start going to a more dangerous territory where you could potentially suicide. But you shouldn't have that problem. Not a lot of people have that kind of item. So if we're just counting for should reflect and up to like +8 Valk, this should be able to last quite a while. Also gives you a little bit of a survivability against elements, and it makes you a lot tankier. I actually just played well with this build. The war was a little bit weird on the other budget build that I was doing, and we needed a killer, so I actually did the budget champ real quick. And I rode with it, and it worked out great. The only thing that was actually killing me was another champ, but I'll show you things that you can do about that. So I did get this done really quick, so I threw together a lot of things real quick, but I want to show you what I've done here. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about the items. Again, KVM. This time I don't want to go with BG. You could go with the BG set if you'd like to put an Aliot, Evil Druid, and a SP item like a Sohi or whichever one gives more. I think it's the 15% one. I don't remember which one. But if you want to use that, it's fine. But the Glorious set does add some attack, and it actually adds a lot of survivability, so I actually enjoyed it. I went with Glorious Rings instead of the BG ones, mainly because I don't have the BG ones, and again, it gives me a little bit more survivability. For the weapon, I mained the Battle Fist. Reason for this is you're going to notice that my dex is not that high, so casting with this was a lot faster than with a mace. So that was nice, and also when I'm, removing the safety wall, there's a chance that while I'm hitting to remove the safety wall, it gives me the instant cast fist. So it's nice. It's a nice little thing. For mid, I went with Incubus. Hopefully that's not too expensive on your server. I would call that budget here. If you don't have a slotted mid, anything that gives SP, you'd want to go with that. If you can't get anything with SP, then you go with Strength. If you can't get something with Strength, then you want to go for Survivability if you can. Or you can replace these two items if you don't have the Incubus. Replace this with like a demi-human attack. So the Masquerade or the Hockey Mask. The Hockey Mask would take both slots, but I'll try to get SP if you can. Incubus is going to be your, even for late game, that's going to be late game gear. The Alice doll is just something that had a slot for another Incubus, and this one actually gives 10% additional damage. This can be the Great Horn for that damage. So anything that increases the SP or demi-human attack. So you want damage on the hat gear, right? Ideally, later on, you're gonna want to go with the orc helm with +9 of Karach, but we're talking about before then. Valk should actually left the +1, the +0 on the other character, but the +7 doesn't really make a difference as much. But yeah, for backup gear, here's where it starts getting interesting, and I'm sort of going to cover what I usually like to cover at the end now, but Mars, that's the card that I always forget the name, but it's the 30% reduction to water. If you wear title shoes with it, I don't have the title shoes here. It actually gives 5% reduction, so that's 35% reduction to water, and also 12% or 10% or something like that HP. So it's actually a really nice little set for early game. And the shoes will have a slot, so you can put that SP card on the shoe. If you're not doing if you're and this is when you start removing KVM and doing more damage and more survivability. You start adapting, right? But the water element, if you do the 10 from each of these rings plus that Mars plus the shoes, and I believe plus one headgear, and possibly the potion, the reduction of water potion, that you can craft. That you wanna, the idea is you wanna have 100% water resistance. What that does is you pretty much have a GTB to Stormgust, while it doesn't increase your JT damage that you're gonna take too much, because you're gonna have the Valk still. That reduces it. With the Tara, that reduces it. You should be okay with that. I have seen people go with the wind armor. So the water immunity with the wind armor, it combos quite well. I've also seen with the earth armor. That way you become a little bit immune to multiple elements. And but yeah, you want to make sure if you're using that slotted, you want the slotted with a mark card. Not Evil Druid. Do not put Evil Druid on an elemental armor, please. Do not do that. It doesn't actually work. It becomes Evil Druid. It loses the property of the armor. For weapon, right? Triple liberation. I don't know why this is here. I actually didn't use it. Let me actually put that away. I didn't actually use it, but that's my main mace. That's where, you know, end game you want to go. It's triple AK with a Turtle General. It's like the most damage possible in all MVPs. So one mace would do everything. It also helps on if you're gonna have to hit the amp. You can also one shot stones with it. You know, it's used everywhere. But I do have. Wait, what? Did I put the wrong one away? I did put the wrong one away. Sorry. So the one I want to keep for the budget build is a 3 Pekko and a Desert Wolf. The Desert Wolf is actually wrong. I would probably go with either a I guess either the skeleton that gives you medium or large Minoros, right? So I would go with those two, but I would probably go with Minoros, so you can actually use this for MVP as well. So any formless MVP that is not ghost, you would use this mace. So it's multifunctional, so it's nice and cheap. The plus 10 helps, but if you can only get a plus 7, that's fine. It goes to plus 7 without breaking. It's a level 1 weapon. So yeah, the next two, this might not be budget, but you definitely want to work towards it. This is a very nice combo. It's a high upgrade. You definitely want the high upgrade. Alliot Nid, it increases your max SP by a lot. This is if somebody's tanking you and you need to push the damage over a little bit, you'll put this on, and then you actually put your mace on. Yeah, ignore the plus 8. The plus 8 is nice, but I mean, if you can, you get a plus 10, obviously. But if you only have a plus 5, it does the job. Test the damage to see if your fist is stronger or this one. Usually, if they're the same plus, if they do the mace will be better. But if you have a plus 7 fist and only a plus 5 mace, you might actually still do more damage with the fist. So you have to try it with your build. I have a variant here. Variant is, well, I consider variant a little bit of a late game. Obviously, there's Tannies that are the very late game, but if you can, as soon as you start coming out of the KVM, you're gonna want to go um, variant and Diablos robe. If you have an ED Diablos robe, you're definitely gonna want to sacrifice one of these two glorious for a D ring, a Diablos ring. Um, it can be with anything, but if you want extra damage, you want to put the mantis, right, to increase your damage. But that's from KVM. The next switch you definitely want to have already Diablos. That's the next tier. Yeah, Brynhild, but you know that's late game. We're not gonna look at that. Oh, here's the green. So that's the combo here. But you would use the card for SP, not the HP card. But there it is. Adds 5% tolerance, and then it increases 10% your max HP when used with this. So it's pretty decent. I believe you can actually even see that that's actually even more damage reduction or more HP. But now you're gonna start freezing. Although you have 35, 55, 65, 75, 75 water resistance just on what you have on right now. Oh, that was a gem. Sorry, I saw a gem just run past. I don't know what he's doing. But anyways, the rest is man, I even lost my my thought process here. All right, four champs at the very minimum, for Marina Mace. It doesn't have to be plus 10. This one can be plus 7 or plus 0. Doesn't matter. Plus 7 would be nice. But you're definitely, that's your minimum. You're gonna have to outplay a couple of people, and being able to freeze them with physical damage is gonna be very important. That's very minimum what you want to get. There are other toys that I can talk about, and we'll talk about later. But yeah, that's minimum. I do have other things here with me, but we'll talk about them after the video. But try to get, here we go, KVM. This is your minimum plus this mace, right? That's minimum. Oh, I'm sorry, that mace. This one is for 2.0. So if you're gonna be killing the barricades, you're gonna want that. For supplies, for bare minimum, I would have some blue gems. You definitely want to save warp where you're going. You want to be coming back as fast as possible. You're not relying on other people. For buffs, mental potion is bare minimum. It's the only one you're really gonna need. If you can afford strength, dex, and int food, you definitely want to invest on that. If you can get vit food for this build, I would highly recommend it. Not necessary, but definitely helps for stun. But only for this build. If you're doing full damage build, and we'll talk about the builds in a minute. Full damage build, then vit food will not help you at all, so you don't need it. I like having converters, at least wind and fire. And the reason for this is if somebody's GR'd and GTB'd and they're fibered or frozen or on a safety wall, a mace damage of a TSS level 5 throw spirit seers could kill them. I have seen people die from that, so it's definitely doable. Here's the thing, champ is not really budget. They're kind of a little bit expensive because you need something that will get your SP up fast, right? You don't want to have a slow process on rebuffing. If you can't afford seeds or berries, go for it. They're actually really easy to farm. They drop from Anolians over in Komodo. Um, so if you can farm 4 seeds, this is where you want to sit. You can use potions. You can use woe potions from Battlegrounds. You can use chocolate, but all of that will slow down and could potentially cause problems while you're playing. Other than that, you don't need any other of these things. This is just so I can mark the portals for the first time. Mega resist doesn't matter. It's not gonna save you. Mega resist will not save you. You can increase your tolerance for stun, but I didn't use any of this. Like I actually only used mental potion, slims. By the way, this is unranked slim. I use unranked slim today because I don't have Mastellas on this account. But you can survive with Mastellas. I carry about 250 with me, just to top off HP, because mainly I was using seeds. So every time I fisted it, it would fill up my HP anyway. So yeah. Speed pot's definitely important. If you're not speed potting with a champ, you want to be taking like 50 with these. Anytime you're about to start a fight, especially with another champ, you're gonna want a speed pot. There's gonna be a lot of situations that you're gonna need speed pot, so definitely take some. Royal jelly is always good to have. Cures most things. But yeah, let's talk about the build. So build's an interesting thing, right? Everybody has a different build, and mine has clearly been made for a meg build. Because you can see that my stats are all broken, except for Vit. Meg build and some other items, right? That give other points. So I like keeping 91 strength. Anything lower, I don't like. I know people like going full dex on the server, but it just seems to, every time I see that, yeah, you get your cast off every time, but if that's the problem, you should probably be getting a pally, right, to help you cast. You also shouldn't be underneath 50 people trying to kill somebody. You should be at a 1v1 scenario. Champ's job is sort of more selective. You're not killing masses. You're killing the main targets, right? You got specific targets that you're going to go for. So if your main killer is a Synex or a wizard, that pally that's reflecting, even if you die with them, you got to take them down, and it's like you're hunting for those targets. Again, I put Vit, so the Vit strength int that I have right here is like the perfect reflect reduction for anything plus 7 Valkyria Manto, or with reflect shield. So I can tank all that. I can tank that all day. I can definitely tank if it's just a Valk. Like you won't do enough damage. I think even Lex you might be able to tank your own fist, but it's very helpful to have such a high HP pool. And it was just like the leftover points for the build. It gives me a little bit more SP. The int don't seem to help too much as I would want to. So I left that low. Obviously, if you have a Tanny and you start going, to that side of SP pools, whenever I have my Tanny, my SP with the right build, right, with the more int build, starts hitting 5k, like 4.5, 5k, and that's pretty much untankable. I actually do drop people with GR and DR. It's kind of obnoxious, but I do need the Megs and the Tanny for that, and then the build will be different. But for no gods, I would stick to around this build. Probably do the close off the dex, the 80 dex, instead of the int, but that's where I would sit. There is the MVP build that people always talk about that I use. That one is a little bit ignorant. It actually is made to drop even people that are assumpted with GRDR. That's a whole new build. That's a lot of items. It's high strength, high dex, high int, and 1 on everything else. So you have 4k HP on that build. So you will die to every reflect in the game. Even if you have the 5% little hat, the useless hat, that's enough to kill that champ. But he's built to be able to drop that pally with Talgunka on somebody that's GR'd, so that's it for the build. Let's talk about the skills. My bar, I have the healing item. Numa's gonna be your best friend in certain scenarios. Not only for defending, but to also attack if somebody is attacking an imp. Numa the imp. If you're attacking them, let your sins break it. If there's a safety wall, keep spamming Numa until the safety wall goes away, and it allows you to do it. You need your SP item. Like I said, the faster that it fills up your SP, the better for this one. You want your fist, obviously. Snap. No champ is a real champ without a snap. That can't be done. This next slot is open, but it's actually for my Fedora, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. It does break my unfrozen combo, and again, I'll talk about it in a minute. But even for situational, even if you're going to be unfrozen for that, or if you're going to freeze during that time, there are some situations that it's good to have a Fedora, and it doesn't have to be on a nid. Just a muffler. I couldn't find my muffler. I have a muffler somewhere. But if you can get it on a nid, that's even better, right? Zen Fury. That's buffs you need. Rewatch I put up here, but actually I'll show you what I usually have up here. I'll talk about it in a little bit on the tricks section. Speedpot buffs, Bless Agi. You definitely want to have both of them on the bar. You want to help your friends, right? If somebody's stone cursed or somebody is cursed, you want to have that bless. If somebody just walked past a quag or somebody got Agi down, you want to make sure. Root, those crit Synexes from hell that will one-shot you, not you, but your friends, because you won't die to one shot. Not with this setup. Root, as soon as you see that Synex show up, or he's coming towards you, you can sort of predict when it's about to happen. Throw Seer. I do keep level 5 on the bar. Actually, I usually keep level 1 on the bar, because you want to cast it fast, because you want to be always on the move. So in a PvP against a champ that has a GR, you're not going to freeze, but you're also not going to tank his fist, so you want to be always moving. I would put level 1 on the bar, and just one hit at a time trying to freeze him from a distance while I stay away from him. Absorb helps save a couple of people from champs. And then that's where my real room watch usually is. For swaps, I have the mace, I have the fist as well, usually. The fist should be in there. The freeze weapon. And then these two are just wrong right now, but it should be, for this current setup, I'll probably have it something like this. The Fedora, or Elliot. If you could put the Fedora and the Elliot in two different things, probably better. But I'll probably put the Fedora and the Glorious in the bar here. I didn't have to do that. This woe was actually kind of easy, so that's why it's kind of messy right now. All right, let's talk about some tricks, right? Some things that will put you to that next level. Champ, I know a lot of stuff for the champ, just mainly because it's been my favorite class. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I have not had much problems, especially not a 1v1. Usually I win those. With champ, with any other class, it's pretty easy with champ. But yeah, couple of hints. You have your freeze mace, right? That's gonna be your best friend. You're gonna TSS, throw spheres, right? To freeze people. But there's a gelato hat, which I don't know if I have it. It's probably not on this account. I have another champ account on the other. It's my main champ. This is not my main champ. But yeah, you want the gelato hat. The reason why you want the gelato hat is if the person's not wearing a GTB, the gelato hat actually has a little bit higher chance of freezing than the quad mace. And the quad mace puts you at a weird spot because the cast is much longer, and you could possibly be losing spheres if you're not paying attention, and it's better in many ways. If you can use the gelato, if the person's not GTB'd, use the gelato. That's gonna be your priority. It puts you in a better spot, right? You also are gonna want Elliot, again on the highest thing, but you don't want to keep it on. You definitely want to keep, if anything, even if you're not wearing the Glorious set and you're wearing full gods, full MVPs, I would recommend keeping a Nid Fudora, alright, or just a Fudora. It's gonna save you. I think Fudora makes the champ the next level. Like it really does give the champ the advantage. You can't be targeted, so you can't be dispelled, and they can't absorb you while you're going towards them, as long as they're near the wall. So I really love. I think that's the strongest toy, even stronger than the most other gods and MVPs. That I don't see people using. It's almost frowned upon. It's like, ooh, shady, like, but it's not. It's not really. It's just people don't want to have to deal with it, so they talk down on it. Another great hint to have, like you'd never. Oh, why do you have a Horong on a champ? You have Rune Watch. Well, here's the scenario. You just froze a Stalker Recaller, but he's hidden. He froze because of a Bard, right? But the Bard maybe died. So now you have to kill this guy without unfreezing him. If you sight him out, if you Rune Watch him out, he'll lose he'll break the ice, and he can hide again and continue to run. Or if you Rune Walk a Synex that just got Lexed, he's killing everybody, he got Lexed, so he hid, because that's what you do as a Synex when you get Lexed, because both champs and priests are gonna come Rune Walk you and remove the Lex. So you definitely want to have that as a backup. It doesn't weigh at a loss. 10 weight is nothing, so it's good to just keep it on a clip in case that scenario comes up. You definitely want to have that. Another cool trick that people don't usually think about is a Seeker Shield. It's a Seeker card on any shield you want. You're not going to tank anything with it. You're not supposed to tank anything with it. You're just going to put it on a situation where somebody's on a safety wall or safety walling the Emp, and they're not wearing GTB or ED. Not a lot of people expect a champ to Stone Curse them, so I get away with these plays all the time because no one really expects it. Where the Scholar's safety walling himself, I can't kill him, and I Stone Curse him because he's got an Unfrozen on, because a good Scholar would have an Unfrozen on as long as they're on safety wall and you're a champ. So if he's good, he's gonna have that. Well, if he's really good, he's gonna have ED. But let's assume he's the next tier of good. It's a lower tier. So he's gonna Stone Curse, and then you can punch him, take out the safety wall, count the hits, right? And then fist him once the safety wall is gone, and he's Stone Curse, so it's the GR, if he has one, won't help him. So it's actually really nice, and it'll catch people off guard. The variant, like I said, this is for the D-Ring, Diablo robe. and then Nid combo. That should be your next step. You definitely want to rush to that as soon as you can with a champ. That will increase your damage by a lot. The combo of the D ring and the robe plus plus the variant will actually increase your damage by a ton. Even just a variant, like look at that, that's already 300 SP. Today I had a scholar saying that my damage was low. Yes, because I was tanky built. Yeah, it's gonna happen, guys. For at least this scenario, what I would want to do is switch to this as a default, and then put a unfrozen on. You're gonna get a lot less HP, but your damage will already go up just by doing this. So consider that if you have a Mark, variant, and Nid, and then you can pump it up. Look at that. That's 500 that's almost 50% more SP than I had before. So that would increase the damage by a ton. But I don't know if you watch my other channel. I did have no problem. Mostly there was like 1 or 2 people that were tanking my fist, but they were also reflecting, so it's kind of good not to increase my damage. But yeah, like I said, situational. But you do want to go to at least a Diablo's robe right here, and then even if you don't have the Diablo's ring yet, but that's what you shoot for as soon as you can. You're gonna have to use redstones if you have the Seeker Shield, because it does consume it as level 1. And yeah, like I said, food if you can. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about the combo, or did I already talk about it? Well, thanks for watching. If I miss anything, I'll add to it.